Part 2. Silver Snow. Harpstring Moon. The Impregnable Fortress. After seizing the Great Bridge of Burden, the Resistance Army starts making preparations to invade Imperial territory when a surprising piece of information comes to light.
Emergency! In Gronder Field!
We are in the middle of a military conference. Please, calm yourself and tell us what is the matter.
Yes, sir. It seems the Kingdom and Alliance armies clashed with Imperial forces on Gronder Field. Amid the chaos of three armies battling each other out there, the Imperial army was routed. Edelgard sustained heavy wounds and retreated to Enbar.
Well then, I suppose.
Sir, the Kingdom army was also decimated and His Highness Dimitri has been counted among the dead.
What?
The Alliance sustained heavy casualties as well, and the whereabouts of their leader, Claude, is currently unknown.
Unknown?
Dimitri is dead?
It must have been a brutal fight. To have lost His Highness. How tragic. Our only solace is that Edelgard sustained severe injuries. This is all quite unexpected, but we must find a way to use this situation to our advantage. The Empire's main force has suffered a mighty blow. Edelgard will most certainly avoid the front lines. Now is the time for us to infiltrate the Empire and aim for the capital.
But what will happen to the Lords of the Old Kingdom and Alliance territories?
They have lost many leaders and soldiers. I'm sure they must be hard at work rebuilding. We will foster cooperation by aiding them through the local churches. The remaining Lords of the Kingdom and Alliance must join together to form one union. And you should be the one to lead them. What do you say?
In time.
Indeed, it is a question for another day. We must focus on our battle with the Empire. For now, what is our next course of action?
Let's decide where to invade first.
We must choose a place within the Empire that will give us solid defenses for our front line. That will become the foothold for our invasion of the capital. There is one massive fortress that boasts the greatest defenses in the Empire, Fort Mercius. But we will stand no chance if we attack by traditional means. We must gather everyone and devise a plan of attack.
It has been a lifetime, hasn't it, Professor?
I thought you were dead.
Yes, I thought so too. I wanted to slice her throat, but I did not get the chance. I let people die, and yet I still stand. Rodrigue, Gustav, Dedu.
There must be a reason you survived.
You sound just like Rodrigue. A reason. Everyone gives such complicated advice, and I can never quite grasp it all. That is why, Professor, I came here to explain my decision.
What decision?
I have no resources to take back the kingdom capital, much less to defeat the Empire. And that is why...
Professor, you will catch a cold sleeping in a place like this. Is something the matter?
Where did he go?
I am the only one here. Were you dreaming? I can't say for certain that you were dreaming, but if someone did come here to see you, that person only wanted you to see their face. Perhaps they wanted you to guide them.
No way, bruh. No way Dimitri could have died that easily. It's impossible. Massacre. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fire Emblem 3 Houses as we continue this Let's Play. Hope you all enjoyed the start of Pokemon Violet lately. But now, here we are, back to Fire Emblem, as promised. As I said before, I will continue this game from start to the end, as usual. Anyways, let's go ahead and start out the explore sequence. And let's start talking to people around the monastery once more. Starting with Caspar.
Fort Mercius is next, huh? Ah, the memories. It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain. The town's completely surrounded by high walls. I used to run around there when I was a kid. Way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
Well, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet, Caspar? Who else is over here? Cynthia?
If Claude somehow survived, I imagine he's terribly wounded. All three forces have suffered heavy losses. We're incredibly lucky to have not been involved. This is a perfect and unique opportunity to go on the offense. Now is the time to prove ourselves, Professor.
I strongly agree with Cynthia. Speaking of Claude, I hope he's alright too. They did say that his whereabouts are unknown. I wonder what happened to Edelgard as well. They did say that she was injured.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard?
It's going to be tough.
I knew you'd think so. I knew you... Ow! Oh, ow. Can't believe I tried to hook you through the door.
Oh, how silly of you, Bernadetta. Anyways. Another thing I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen, please excuse the background noise. I have my fan on. It is indeed hot today over where I'm at. Is anything here? Doesn't seem to be. I'll come back here later.
I think. You're quite a tactician. Disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. In a frontal attack, our losses would be tremendous. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit.
Bruh. That's a bad pun.
Ah, rats. You've seen through my cunning punning.
I mean, you gotta give him credit. He is trying with the jokes. I mean, remember the conversation between him and Petra? Okay.
A moment, please. I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much, but I wanted to help the church out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
Okay. That's good to know. Churchgoer.
Pardon me.
Oops. Let's see. Oops. Let's head over to the market.
The fish in this pond get fed every day. So they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
Quite possibly. Let's see what the gatekeeper has to report.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report.
Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
I'm sure we'll all be fine, Mr. Gatekeeper, so don't you worry. Smith and stone, neat. Calico tea. Hello, Anna.
A class reunion on the battlefield? That's bleak. That must have been so hard on everyone. You gotta keep looking after them all. I mean, they still look to you for guidance, you know?
Thanks as always, Anna. What's this? Okay, more seeds.
Professor?
Yeah, let's cut through here.
Teacher. Dimitri, the late Prince of Fargus. He despised the Empire with all his heart. He should not have tried leading an army while his emotions were holding him captive.
Don't leaders have feelings like everyone else?
True enough, but I suspect the reason he died is that he could not keep his emotions in check. I see. You are saying you met with Dimitri, but you could not tell if it was reality or a dream. I wonder what that could mean.
Well, considering last night, late at night rather, I have to assume I met him in spirit. Man, that sucks. What happens to Dimitri? Well, it's whether or not it is true, but we'll see.
According to information we've received from the Eastern Church, the Alliance territories seem to be experiencing intense upheaval, and their leaders' well-being is still unclear, and the Lords are all questioning each other's intentions. It seems like a difficult time to ask the Alliance for assistance.
Yeah, clearly the Alliance had a very bad time after that gruesome battle that we heard about.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
We will do what we must, Flame. I will do all in my power to end this terrible war that's happening in Folden. Okay, I'll talk to the dining staff later. Hello, Petra.
I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising.
Because it's like hunting?
Yes, hunting is doing surprise attacks on prey. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries.
Makes sense. Makes sense indeed.
Hey, you.
Alright, let's head through the stables. Head through back here. See what's going on here. Oh, I might as well check out the amiibo gazebo today as well. Silverfish. Elixir. Alright. Decent rewards from the... or rather decent items from the gazebo today. I will accept that. Green flower seeds. Ingrid.
I only know what little I overheard. But what I did hear implied that the Empire was involved in the tragedy of Dusker. If it's true, that may explain why His Highness chose to fight the Empire. Perhaps I should have fought alongside His Highness.
Are you having regrets?
No, not anymore. I am where I belong. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
Indeed, Ingrid. But at the same time, I can't help but feel bad for Ingrid. She is still part of the Blue Lion's house after all, along with Dimitri. So I can imagine how hard this was for her. And possibly Felix. Speaking of Felix, where is he? There's Linhard. Let's see what Linhard has to say.
I'm rather curious to see what stratagem we'll devise to capture the fortress. You know Fort Nersius' nickname, I assume. The stubborn old general. But there must be one or two gaps in its defenses.
Let's see.
Hey, I could use a hand.
Whenever I think about the next battle, my knees won't stop shaking. I'm scared of getting hurt, or worse. Is there a medical herb that I could use to calm my nerves? Find an herb that will help the nerves of a soldier in the Knight's Hall. You may find what you're growing in the greenhouse. Okay. Worried warrior. Find the herb. Seems like we're gonna have to backtrack at the greenhouse. Hold on, Catherine was back here actually.
I hardly recognize everyone. Their faces have changed so much. More experience in the eyes, and more pain. I'm glad that they're stronger, but I hate to think they've all become hardened killers. Look after them, okay? Try to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Will do, Catherine. Will do. Train my students well.
Doesn't matter how sturdy to keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything. That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
If you were Emperor, huh? Let's feed the doggo. Let's see, what do I feed him? I guess I can feed him the moose. It looks happy. Okay. I did a good deed, I feel. Alright, let's go ahead and head through here.
Oh.
Somebody in here I could talk to? Seems so.
After that great battle earlier, balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. But we only stood a chance because we drove the Empire from the Great Bridge of Murden. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Right then. Is that a cat? Let's feed the kitty. If I'm allowed to. There you go. Let's feed you platinum fish. Woo! Thanks, kitty.
Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
Boy, I wonder, indeed. I wonder what they were thinking. We'll soon find out in future playthroughs. I'll deal with that later. Are we back here I missed? Other than tournaments? I'll probably save that for a little later. Let's head through the cathedral. Then afterwards we can make our way to the upstairs. See what's going on. Could you be so kind to open the gates, please, video game? Okay, thank you.
Hi there.
Cathedral still looks like a mess. No surprise there.
I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore. But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros. I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
Ah, yes. We gotta keep the church running within the Empire. You know how the deal is. Hello, Dorothea.
I heard that a staggering number of people lost their lives in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent.
So actors die, the show goes on?
Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
I'm sure we'll be fine, Dorothea. Same thing like I said to Flame. I will do all of my power to end this war as quickly as possible. Alright, oh wait, I still gotta head back to the greenhouse. So give me a minute. Remember the tiny purple flowers. It's calming since we relieve stress. Alright. Suppose I'll go ahead and get back to the Void Warrior. Hey man, here's some herbs.
I'm glad I asked you.
It really calms you down if you make a tea out of it. Ah, even the smell is soothing. Thank you so much. Now I feel like I can fight again. Good for you, pal. Alright. That concludes that side quest. Let's go ahead and head upstairs. Okay, there's nothing in the Cardinal's room. Let's see who's in here. Hilda and Shamir.
I like this idea of yours, dressing as Imperial soldiers so they'll let us in. But don't you wish there was one more twist in the plan? Come on, Professor, think. How could we add another wrinkle,
We could dress you as the Emperor.
Dress me as Edelgard? But we look nothing alike. On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived. That seems safer.
It was a... At least she was giving out a suggestion to the strategy. But for now, let's stick to the original plan, Hilda.
Did you give the ridiculous order to prepare Imperial armor for every one of our troops?
I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough.
Well, Shamir, but we gotta do what we gotta do. That's all there is to it.
I've heard that Gilbert, who used to serve in the Knights of Seros, fell at Gronder. Apparently he was originally a knight of the kingdom, and now he shared Prince Dimitri's fate. Gilbert was an exceptional knight. It's an unspeakable shame.
It is a shame indeed. And we were just talking to Gilbert in the previous Fire Emblem episode.
Well...
Hold on, who's all over here? Oh, it's Zero.
Let's see. Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see.
We could find our targets quicker than anyone.
Yeah, I suppose it could be real useful for finding Lady Rhea, too. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
You know what's going in my head after hearing that? It's that quote from Lord of the Rings where Aragorn says to Legolas, "Legolas, where do your elf eyes see?" in the Two Towers.
Each step closer to Envar,
I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Sorry, I was paying less attention. I'm just trying my best not to giggle so much. You're taking the hobbits to Isengard. God. Oh man, that's such a classic.
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius?
The stubborn old general?
Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that. Seems Fodlands give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
I see. Thank you for that little lesson about the fort, Professor Hanneman. Also, I just guessed that answer. I did not actually knew about that. Alright, let's go see who's up here. There's a quest here. Ah, by Seteth.
The battle at Gronder Field certainly took an unexpected turn, did it not? Let us press on, so as not to waste the opportunity. Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. I will make the necessary preparations. Be ready. I have something to ask of you.
Ah, another supply run. I do have all that, so let's go ahead and give that to him.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Cool. Alright. Let's go ahead and head over to the tournament. Or rather, the training grounds.
Could I try?
It hasn't sunk in yet. They slaughtered the boar. I can hardly believe it. I thought he was alive all this time. He must have really hated Edelgard to lead such an ill-advised assault. No point in feeling sorry for the poor scoundrel now.
Yeah, just as I thought. This is hard, especially for Felix and Ingrid right now. Advanced Black Magic Tournament. Ooh. Who can participate here? Ooh. Either Hanneman, Flame, or maybe Linhardt. Okay, well, give me a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and set them up for this. Okay. I'm gonna have Flame do this. Ooh, yikes, 8%. He's hoping that doesn't land. For Flame's sake, of course. Flame should handle this. She's one of the units that has high magic resistance anyway. No damage. Take these fireballs. Yeah, Flame got this. Ooh, 84% and 3 damage, huh? It would be nice if Flame gets a crit. But then again, she's never the type to land crits to begin with. She's mostly just the healer. Well, not in this playthrough at least. I already have Lenhard as a healer. I think you'll find as my flying mage slash healer.
Child's play.
GG, Flame. GG. Alright. Magic staff. That's going to be handy. Give me that XP. And I'll be on my way. Let's head down to the Abyss.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Lots of things happen down here. Lots of reports need to be reported. And for all reportable things, I'm your guy.
Lots to report, huh?
Pardon me.
I hurt my leg in the last battle. Had to take shelter down here. Nowhere else to go. Be careful up there. All sides are bringing their strongest people to this fight. Count Burgleys in the Empire, Lord Holst in the Alliance. I'm sure the Kingdom's got someone too.
Wow. Pretty much all 3 sides are bringing their heavy hitters around this time, huh?
Got a wager for you. My friend says there's twice as many women in Abyss as men. You think he's right?
No, the men aren't as few as that.
Good eye. You win. Here, have a little something.
Huh. Thanks, I guess? That was surprising. Alright, let's go see what the 4 are doing down here.
You know, House Albrecht also took part in the Battle of Gronder. That's where my little bro is, of course. Yeah, he's very different from me. Smart one. And just about worthless in a fight. I really hope he's okay.
I'm sure he's fine about this. Hopefully. But seriously, I hope he's fine. Indeed.
It's not that I don't sympathize with Lady Edelgard's goals, mind you, but perhaps not to the point of shedding blood for her ideals.
Perhaps not.
I must keep her example in mind as I chart a new path. Peace in Fodlan and a restored House Nouvelle shall be my guiding star as I blaze my own trail.
You keep that ambition fired up, Constant.
Yeah. I used to be a rather important person in the church, but I am in exile for committing a crime. I embezzled some money, but it wasn't out of greed. My hometown was pillaged, you see, and the church wasn't putting in enough to rebuild.
Oof. Yikes. We're gonna need to step up our game then if we want to keep the people around here safe, you know?
What a pain. What an absolute pain.
What's the matter?
Concerned, are you? That's nice. A little too nice. Here's a word of warning. If anyone here asks you for a favor, it's probably just a scam.
That's good to know, I guess. Whatever you say, man. Hello, Happy.
People have always fought, I guess. Bandits and nobles clashing over territory, things like that. So before the war, when folks talked about how peaceful everything was, I thought, what continent are you living on? I get it now. A few isolated skirmishes here and there are nothing compared to a full-blown war. The one truly peaceful place I've known was the village where I grew up.
Interesting. Where's Yuri, by the way? What does he have to say today?
The Empire rallies its forces and attacks Garrett Mach. I'm not so sure Abyss will be okay. If we're not careful, it'll end up buried in rubble.
I won't let that happen.
Ever the valiant one. But nobody ever knows how a war will turn out. That's part of the deal, you know. Maybe I'm being paranoid. But I want to ensure there's still a refuge for people to escape to.
Yeah, we gotta keep you folks down here safe as well. You guys are part of the Church of Seros, after all. Or rather, not the Church of Seros, the Resistance Army at this point.
Shamir? How do you figure I did today? In the battle, I mean. I tried to not get close to the enemy, and I even used some curved shots just like you taught me. And that was pretty good, huh?
You did well. You maintained a safe distance.
Well, that's even better than fine.
Is that worth celebrating?
Ha! You said I was fine before, now you're saying I did well, and that's a big improvement. Especially since everyone knows you're always so strict.
I give praise where it's due. To that point, you've made incredible progress. At first, you couldn't even draw a bow.
At first, you wouldn't even let me hold a bow.
Really?
You just gave me a stick with a piece of string tied on it, and you made me practice with that. Honest, I figured you were bullying me. I was really, really close to giving up. But then you finally gave me the bow. I mean it, I was mad. I'd done all the stuff you told me to, and I knew the way I was supposed to stand, and I could pull the string just so, but...
Maybe I was testing you. Seeing if you'd give up. You're the one who insisted that I teach you archery. I never intended to take you on as my student.
I just wanted to do whatever I could for Lady Rhea. More than just cleaning and chopping wood and such. I thought maybe I could help with the fighting, but I didn't know anything about swords. And archery was always something that interested me, so... You really helped me out with my dreams, even though you didn't get anything out of it. And that's really nice of you.
I gain nothing personally, but the whole army benefits if you're skilled. And those of us from outside of Fodlan should support one another, right?
But it's always been you helping me. I'm gonna keep working real hard with that bow so I can help you back.
Professor Hanneman, what do you think of my progress so far?
To be blunt, you are still struggling more than I would expect.
Ah, I see. I suppose I need to give it a little more of that Alois oomph.
How does someone remain so upbeat when they are accomplishing, well, absolutely nothing?
Come again? I didn't quite catch that.
Just jabbering to myself. Pay me no mind.
All right. I've been wondering, why did you agree to train me in the first place? When I told everyone you were teaching me, they could hardly believe it.
Well, if I'm completely honest, you're less of a student and more of an experiment. You have no crest, but you might be able to learn magic, despite our early results. And the potential magical ability of those who lack a crest is precisely what I hope to research.
That's a surprise. A crest scholar researching people without crests?
When studying crests, it is also important to understand the effects of their absence. After all, the very reason for all of my research is to grant the power of a crest to anyone who desires it. If it is in fact possible to increase the magical potential of people lacking a crest, then I find myself one step closer to my goal. Hence, my experiments with you are quite valuable to my research.
Oh, that's wonderful! What a great man you are, Professor Hanneman. Truly a man among men. Why, if I could prove it's possible to use magic without a crest, what an honor that would be! Oh, please, use me as you see fit. I won't let you down, I promise.
Could you express your enthusiasm more quietly? And if at any point you wish to discontinue...
Oh no, I'm ready to go. Let's make a breakthrough. Come on, Hanneman. You should be shouting too! A bright future awaits!
No. Shouts and screams are detrimental to scholarly research, and to my ears.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I have some friends who struggle with magic as well. I'll ask them to help. Perhaps if we all chip in, we can make your dream a reality. Onward!
Alois! Forget it. That man never slows down. But I suppose I can appreciate why some are drawn to his exuberance.
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing?
Yes, actually.
You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble.
Maybe if you were quieter.
Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade. I was hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip. He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life.
Crest can make people live longer?
Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100. And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like?
He liked to fish.
In other words, he was exactly the same. When he was with the knights, he always found time to go fishing. He was hooked on it, you might say. He'd say there was no greater pleasure in life than sinking his teeth into a fish he'd caught and washing it down with a drink. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary.
Really?
Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Gerald could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that?
What do you mean?
Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more?
I wish to know more.
That was a foolish question, of course. You are not the sort to be complacent. So, only one more question matters. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be. You may decide, once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't. But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth?
Yes, I am.
I see. That is what I wish to hear. Since the Archbishop put so much faith in you, I will continue to offer my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well, and I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you noticed there, I put the support, conversations, and the explore sequence together in one video. I feel like I should be doing that from now on in the rest of this playthrough, mixing those two together. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, as always, and until next time, I will be doing the available paralogs. I'll probably do some farming off screen, but yeah. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. GG.